Good morning and welcome to the Gringo Baker. Today we're going to make baked beans, New England style baked beans. We start the bean making process by taking a pound of beans and picking them over, and I always take out discolored ones, but what you're really looking for is rocks, because these are harvested by machines, and the machines can't tell the difference sometimes between a rock and a bean. So this is 1 pound. Once we've sorted through them, I put them in a larger bowl and add water to make sure they've got plenty of water. And that is what we need to do tonight. This is what the beans looked like this morning. You can see they're quite a bit larger than they were. I thought I'd show you just how much these beans expand in their overnight soak. So you can see the difference between dry bean on my right and the swollen bean on my left. I don't want to splash, so I'm going to just use the spoon. It's important to keep an eye on the beans for a while at least, because you really don't want them to boil over. It makes up quite a mess. Okay, it got boiling, so now I've turned the heat down a lot, and we're going to let it simmer with a cover on it. It was just barely any opening on this side. Okay, this is one area where my recipe varies from the cookbook recipe. Cookbook calls for 4 ounces of salt pork, and this is probably 6 because it's just about half of a 12-ounce package. Usually I don't sear the salt pork at all, but I thought I'd try something different this time, because this is pretty lean. It has quite a bit of actual meat in it, and usually it's mostly fat. Some people like to rinse the salt pork because it's very, very salty, but I never do. I'm also going to slightly caramelize a chopped up large onion. This is also something I have not done before. Usually I put the raw onion in the beans. Because that pork is so lean, there's no fat. So we're going to give it a little bit of oil. Okay, the beans have cooked long enough. So as soon as the onions are done, we're going to start combining ingredients in my baking dish. I'm not looking for anything crispy here. It's just going to be till they're mostly translucent. Now we get to the part where the fun begins. We're going to take, when you drain the beans, you need to reserve the liquid that they cooked in. As you can see, it doesn't look just like water, it's kind of cloudy. So we need about 1 cup of that. This is actually just over the line. Then we need a half a cup of molasses. And I just learned a new trick today, and I just tried it, and I like it. And that is to oil up your measuring cup, because molasses usually sticks pretty badly. And this is coming right out and leaving the cup pretty clean. That way I know I'm getting all of my molasses. And that little bit of oil that it picked up with it isn't going to hurt anything. Then we need a 1/4 cup of firmly packed brown sugar, and this time I use dark brown. Usually I just use brown sugar, but thought I'd try something different this time. The recipe calls for a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, but this is a 1/4 teaspoon because I use salt pork, and that stuff is pretty salty, and I just don't want it overpoweringly so. A 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. We mix that all together. I have a bean pot, but I don't really want to run my oven for as long as these cook, so I use our air fryer set tip oven and dump my beans into a casserole dish that fits in the oven. These might have boiled just a little bit too long. They're very, very tender, so that will shorten up the baking time. And then we add our onions. We add the salt pork. We give it a stir. Kind of mix things together a little bit. Yeah, these beans are probably going to be mushy because I did let them cook too long. That's too bad. They'll stir up easier with the liquid in them. They will taste the same, but they're probably going to be a little bit on the mushy side. And I already think I don't have enough liquid, so I'm going to add a little more. This is about a 1/2 cup. Then we're going to cover this and put it in our air fryer oven. And the cover doesn't fit when it's in the air fryer oven, but the air fryer oven cover sits pretty tightly on the top of it, so we're going to call that good, and we're going to leave that alone for a while, and we'll be back in 45 minutes to an hour to take a look at it and see if we need to add more liquid. They're almost done, but I need the sauce to thicken up somewhat, so I need them to boil down a little bit more. So we're going to let that happen for about maybe 15 minutes. And that, fellow bakers, is our completed baked beans. And that, fellow bakers, is our completed New England style baked beans. I believe they call them New England style because they have a lot of molasses and brown sugar and they don't have any tomato sauce. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Remember to like and comment, subscribe. All of that helps the channel grow and is really appreciated. I have dished myself out a bowl of baked beans and I'm just about to give them a shot. Very good. See you next time.